What's up guys, I'm James. Welcome back to another watch review. Today we're going to take a look at the Nodus Retrospect in Slate Gray. Now this piece was generously shipped to me for review from my cousin Sam on the East Coast. He's also very much into watches and he's affiliated with the Facebook group WATCHA. It's a great place to post wrist shots and share stories about your watch journey. I'll have a link down below in the description, definitely check it out. Opening up the box, we have a rough canvas sheet that adds a nice texture to the unboxing experience. The Retrospect piece is contained in this beautiful watch roll, which is a first on this channel. The front is branded with an exceptionally stitched leather Nodus emblem, and the roll is very firm to the touch. It's thick and of a high quality canvas. Also included is a leather snap keeper to hold the unit secure. Let's go ahead and open it up. Nodus provides two compartments. The left stores your main piece, and the right is where you will find marketing and accessories. I'll show you that real quick. This is the extra stuff it comes with. You get a NATO strap, a microfiber cloth, and a warranty card. I just want to say that it's nice to have something like this. It's that extra step you get with some micro brands. A pleasant change from the standard pillow and works really well for transporting your piece. But let's go ahead and get a closer look at the Nodus Retrospect. Now these 1960s inspired dive pieces are designed and assembled right here where I live in Los Angeles, California by co-founders Colin and Wesley. The two have been friends since middle school. They were musicians that eventually assembled their own custom guitars. This combined passion drove them to form a band that was successful within the local community. In 2012, they took separate college academic paths. During this 4 years of separation, they both coincidentally developed a passion toward watches. Once they reconnected, history would prove to repeat itself, and the two friends began Frankensteining their own custom timepieces. As this newfound passion continued to develop, jump forward to 2017, we now have the outcome, which is the micro brand Nodus. If you want to learn more about them, I will have a link to their website. Their blog is really good. Definitely check it out. That's where most of this information comes from. With that all said, let's go ahead and move on to the review. One of the throwback features of this piece is that steel inward sloping bezel, also known as a stadium bezel. It plays very well with the light reflection, looking sleek in that slate gray finish. It combines with the double domed sapphire glass to achieve a very interesting look, and we do get an AR coating on the underside of the glass. Now this bezel lines up perfect with no backplate. It's a firm but easy to animate unidirectional 120 clicks. Let's take a listen to what that sounds like. You have a case diameter of 40.5 millimeters. Lug to lug is going to be 49 millimeters. If you want to change out the band, it's 22 millimeters, and you have a thickness of 12.5 millimeters with 14.5 millimeters counting the center glass. Now you can see here on this side shot, we have a very nice stamped crown. That is a screw down crown with 200 meters of water resistance or 660 feet. In addition, we have the combination of coined edging on the crown and the bezel. The crown on this piece functions perfectly as it should and has a very satisfying wind. I'll let you hear that right now. The surface of the lugs are brushed with smooth polished sides, creating a crisp laser sharp edge between the two. Nodus took the time to include drilled lugs, and if you look between the lugs, you'll notice the added brushed lip. This extra surface gives a fuller look when paired with a strap. You can see that pretty well in this shot. The case back is left minimalistic, giving only the necessary specs of the piece, staying true to the vintage theme. The provided band is a thick, full-grain black leather strap. It feels high quality to the touch with plenty of sizing holes for just about any wrist. You have some clean white stitching on the edges. On the reverse side, we have a branded Nodus stamping, and then we also have the Nodus branding on a high-polished 316L stainless steel buckle. Now the movement in this piece is a Seiko NH35A. It's 24 joules and beats at 21,600 BPH, so it's not going to be a high beat movement, but it does provide a solid 42-hour power reserve, along with hacking, hand winding, and a quick set date at the 6 o'clock. I've owned many watches with NH35s in them, and I can say that it's an excellent and dependable movement. On top of that, I know Nodus runs a very strict standard for their movement regulation process, so that's another plus. With the Retrospect, Nodus chose Dauphine hands, with their inverse shape of the indices, blunt ends, and polished folding molded surfaces, it all works together creating depth and better visibility. That depth is continued with the very well executed sandwich dial. I always love a sandwich dial because in my personal opinion, the added depth makes the loom so much more interesting. Let's go ahead and take a look at that. The hands, indices, and 12 o'clock marking on the bezel are all coated with green C3 Superluminova, and you can see that the Nodus logo and text have been given the same treatment. It's the little things like this that make me love micro-brand watches. Those tiny little details that are not required but they are included anyways show the true passion that went into designing the piece. Here's a side-by-side shot to an American quarter to give you a better representation of scale. Moving on to the wrist shot, if you watch my reviews, you know that I have a 6.75 inch wrist, and with this piece measuring just a hair over 40 millimeters, in my opinion, it looks fantastic on my wrist, especially with that beautiful inward slope bezel. Just take a look at how the light plays off that. Here we have a blue and gray NATO strap from Wrist Candy Watches, and it looks fantastic. Also from Wrist Candy Watches, we can see how it looks paired with a green NATO, changing it up for a more tactical presence. For the sake of variety, here it is on a more masculine leather strap. Now the buckle is a little bit too big for my taste, but you can still get an idea of how much it changes up the look. And last but not least, we have one more NATO strap from Wrist Candy Watches. Obviously the two shades of gray match the slate gray bezel perfectly, creating a winning combination. But let's move on to some outdoor shots to give you that natural light reflection. Alright guys, that's going to wrap this one up. If you made it this far in the video and you enjoyed it, please consider clicking that like button or possibly subscribing to the channel, as it does really help me out and motivates me to keep pushing. Anyways, thanks for watching this review. I really do appreciate you guys, and I'll see you in the next one.